Howdy, music fans. Thanks for joining me. I am jumping onto another thread. This is Richard McCook's state names in records. So he wants us to list U.S. state names in song titles or album titles. Really cool idea. I love this idea. I love this thread. Jamie Cottle did a video for it. It's fantastic. I highly advise you to go check that one out. That's the only one I've really seen besides Richard's. After I watched Jamie's, I went and checked Richard's and watched his, which is also great. Check it out. And I went there to get the rules down straight, which aren't as strict as I at first had thought they would be. Anyway, to get all 50 states is pretty tough. And that's, of course, the goal is to get as many as you possibly can. So let's get started. The first state is Alabama, and there's so many entries you could do for Alabama. I chose Drive By Truckers' Alabama Ass Whoopin' a live album. And yeah, like I say, there's so many you could do. Next, there's a few you could do for this one. Alaska, I chose Dan Byrne, a CD that I just recently bought, and the track is Alaska Highway. Next is Arkansas, and I chose Robert Earl Keen. And this track, well, the album is a bigger piece of sky, and the track is Here in Arkansas. That's another one where I had 2 or 3 or 4 choices I could have done. Okay, now we're up to, I skipped Arizona, sorry, John Doe, and the album is Westerner, and the track is, let's see, Alone in Arizona, track 6. There's John Doe. Okay, the next one is California, and I chose John Fogerty's version of an old country tune, California Blues, Blue Yodel by Jimmy Rogers. Webb Pierce, I think, has done it. John Langford's done it. Lots of people have done it. All right, next we're up to Colorado. I chose News from Colorado by Steve Earle on So You Want to Be an Outlaw, which is one of his most recent albums. And it looks like the 3rd or 4th track there. You can barely read it in that crazy cursive font. News from Colorado. Okay, next is I skipped Connecticut. Couldn't find anything for Connecticut. Kudos if you could. Delaware, Down Across the Delaware by James McMurtry on Where'd You Hide the Body, track number 5. Down Across the Delaware. All right, next one is Florida, and I chose Muddy Waters from Hard Again, Deep Down in Florida. There it is, track number 7, Deep Down in Florida. Okay, Georgia. There's a lot I could have picked for Georgia. I'm leaving the Billy Joe Shaver, obvious one, for anybody else who wants to take it. I did not take it. I'm taking Elizabeth Cook from Aftermath, and the song is called Thick Georgia Woman. And where the hell it is on here, because it's in a circle. I don't know. Gotta find it. There it is, Thick Georgia Woman. So what numbered track that is, hell if I know. But I could have done a few things for Georgia. That was not so tough. Okay, next we've got Hawaii. I was going to do Let's Talk Dirty in Hawaiian by John Prine, but I don't think that would work because that doesn't say Hawaii. It says Hawaiian. So I chose Steve Forbert and the Rough Squirrels, Here's Your Pizza. And there was one other track I could have chosen, but I got this one, and it's called Everybody's Doing It in Hawaii. Yeah, or Everybody Does It in Hawaii, sorry. Everybody Does It in Hawaii. There we go, Steve Forbert. All right, after Hawaii, we've got Idaho, and I just chose the Bodines have a track called Idaho, if I can find it. Oh, it's the first track on it, on Joe Dirt Car. So double CD, and the first track is called Idaho. Hard to see that one. All right, next, Illinois, I chose All the King's Men with Scotty Moore and DJ Fontana, and Keith Richards is on this with Levon Helm and Ron Wood and Jeff Beck and all kinds of cool people. But the song that I chose is with, I think, the Bodines again, and it's called Locked Up in the State of Illinois, and it is track 3. So there's the CD, and there's the track, Locked Up in the State of Illinois. Bodines with DJ Fontana and Scotty Moore. Okay, next, Indiana. I chose Fred Eaglesmith, Indiana Road, and that's also, I believe, the track on here. It's the next to last track, Indiana Road. So name of the album and the track. Bonus. Okay, next for Iowa, I've got William Elliott Whitmore, I'm With You is the album, and the track is Black Iowa Dirt, and it is the last track on the CD, Black Iowa Dirt. Next is Kansas, and I had to go with this one because this was really hard, and so Jamie had the same thing. So sorry, Jamie, I'm copying you, piggybacking on that. But Kansas, off of Neil Young's recently released Homegrown. Otherwise, I'd have to go with something like Kansas City or I don't know what, but Kansas, got it. All right, next one. This one was, of course, a bazillion choices. Kentucky. Emmylou Harris. The album is Blue Kentucky Girl, and I believe that's also a track on the album, but I can't see it. Oh, yeah, there it is. Blue Kentucky. I can see it. Blue Kentucky Girl. Boy, it's going to be hell putting all these CDs back, Richard. All right, next. Oh, this one, I knew I had something about a battleship for the state of Maine somewhere, and I knew it was old, but I didn't know where, and I found it. The Bear Family set Tell It To Me, revisiting the Johnson City sessions. This is like the kind of sister package to the Bristol sessions. This is 1928 and 1929, and the song is The Battleship Maine by Richard Harold, it looks like. The Battleship Maine, that is the track. I knew there was a track like that. All right, this one might be a little sketchy. Maryland, but it should work. I don't see why not. New Barbarians, Live in Maryland, Buried Alive. It's also called Buried Alive in Maryland. And it might even say that, well, when you put it in your iTunes, it says Buried Alive in Maryland. So, New Barbarians, Buried Alive in Maryland. All right, next one. Louisiana. Of course, we could have done a million of things for this one. I chose Chuck Berry from San Francisco Dues, and the first track is called Oh, Louisiana. Oh, Louisiana. All right, next one. Massachusetts. Arlo Guthrie from All Over the World, and there is a track on this album. The third track, here's the album, All Over the World, and the third track is called Massachusetts. Okay, next we've got Michigan. I could have went with a Rolling Stones tune, but I'll leave that for you. I went with Jimmy Dale Gilmore's version of from Come On Back of Saginaw, Michigan, the Lefty Frizzell tune. Saginaw, Michigan. Okay, next, Minnesota. I went with a bootleg, the Minnesota Tapes by Bob Dylan. The Minnesota Tapes. Okay, we are at now Mississippi. Well, come on. I mean, I know there's a million you could do, but from Love and Theft, Bob Dylan, I had to do Mississippi because I love that song and I love this album. It's a great song. All right, next is Missouri. I've got Mance Lipscomb from You Got to Reap What You Sow on our Hooley Records. The last track on here is called Missouri Waltz. Okay. Now we've got Montana. That one you would think would be. Wait, is that next? Yeah, he's out. Oh, here it is. The Dead String Brothers on Cannery Row. Talking with a man in Montana is there. You can barely see it, but that's what it says. Talking with a man in Montana. Could have had a few choices for that, but that's the one I went with. Nebraska, of course, there's the obvious, and I hope a lot of people take that one. But I'm taking John Prine's The Tree of Forgiveness, Egg and Daughter Night, Lincoln, Nebraska, 1967. Egg and Daughter Night, Lincoln, Nebraska, 1967. There it is. Okay, next we've got Nevada. So I've got Mark Knopfler from Sailing to Philadelphia. The last track is called Sands of Nevada, or Nevada, however you say it. Sands of Nevada. Oh my God, look at this mess, Richard. Oh, good God. All right, New Hampshire. No, nothing for New Hampshire. So I'm missing Connecticut and New Hampshire. Okay, New Jersey. I had to go with Tom Waits from Heart Attack and Vine, his version of Jersey Girl, because otherwise I would be out of luck. We know it's about New Jersey. We know that from the Bruce Springsteen version that Jamie picked. Great choice. So there's mine. Okay, what do we got next? New Jersey, New Mexico. So Johnny Horton, and the song is Out in New Mexico, I believe. Yeah, Out in New Mexico. Well, Johnny Horton, Take Me Like I Am. It's a Bear Family series, and the track is Out in New Mexico. All right, after New Mexico, we've got New York, and Richard made it pretty clear it doesn't have to be New York State, like New York State of Mind. So I chose somebody who writes a lot about New York, and this album by Willie Nile is called New York at Night, and so is, well, not the first track. The first track is called New York is Rockin', and the seventh track is called New York at Night. So 1 and 7. So 3 New Yorks on that. That ought to count for the state. All right, next, North Carolina. We've got Link Ray, 3-track Shack, doing From Tulsa to North Carolina. It's on the second disc, and it's way down there. It looks like track, I don't know, 14, 15, 16, something like that. From Tulsa to North Carolina. Link Ray, 3-track Shack. Next, Ohio. This one, wait, is that? No, this is North Dakota. Sorry, North Dakota. I think this is also copying off Jamie. It's the only thing I could possibly find from Joshua Judge's Ruth. The 4th track is called North Dakota. Okay, next we've got Oklahoma. Oh, I'm going these out of order. Sorry, Ohio is next. And there's a few good choices, but I chose from Soul Journey by Gillian Welch, Look at Miss Ohio. So that is track, it's track 1. And this is the one that makes its way around the campfire and the guitar jams all the time now. It's almost as ubiquitous as Wagon Wheel. Okay, next, Oklahoma. Another one, could have done a million different choices. I chose The Kinks from Muswell Hillbillies. Track 10 is called Oklahoma, USA. Oklahoma, USA. Okay, I got to show you guys this mess on my bed before I'm done. Oregon, I thought that Jamie picked the only one that was there, the only good one. Turns out there's 2 others that I found in my collection, but I'm going with From Solid Heart by Greg Brown. The first track is called I Must Be in Oregon. There we go. All right, next, Pennsylvania, Ride Away from the World by the Stone Coyotes. One of my favorite Stone Coyotes songs is called Pennsylvania Coal Mine. Now and Forever, our number, it is 9. We Live and Die Together in a Pennsylvania Coal Mine, track 8. And you've got to check out the Stone Coyotes. They are fantastic. It's one of my favorite songs by them too. Okay, and Jamie, you got me here again. Rhode Island, What Can You Do But Sweet Rhode Island Red by Ike Tina Turner. There's no other way around it. And this turns out might be the only version I have on CD. If you have the 2-for-1 LPs on one CD anywhere, you know of it for under $30, I'm looking. Okay, next is South Carolina. I've got the South Carolina Rag by Blind Willie Walker, I think it is, on Bill Wyman's Blues Odyssey. It is on the first disc, I believe. Blind Willie Walker, where is he? There he is. Track 16, Blind Willie Walker, South Carolina Rag. Alrighty, cruising along here. We got Tennessee, of course, a million choices. I chose that I'm out of. Oh no, I'm not Tennessee. Sorry, South Dakota is next. James McMurtry, Complicated Game, and I chose the track South Dakota, which is number 10. South Dakota. Next, Tennessee. You could have done a million things. I chose, and I wanted to do a different one that probably nobody knows, but I chose Tennessee Plates from John Hyatt. It's track 3 off of Slow Turning, and I freaking love this song. It is just one of his greatest songs about stealing Cadillacs from Graceland. Okay, next one, Texas. Again, I could have done a million songs. I mean, if you've got an Ernest Tubb CD, you've probably got a song with the title Texas somewhere in it, or with Texas in the title somewhere. I chose Tanya Tucker's Texas When I Die, which is one of my favorite Tanya Tucker songs. Track 3 on this best of. All right, Utah. So I chose Ed McCurdy. It's called Cowboy Songs, and it is called Utah Carol, about a roping riding cowboy who gives his life to save a little girl who's being, or a girl who's being rushed by the bulls. Utah is his name, like Utah Phillips. Utah. All right, next is Virginia. I chose Split Lip Rayfield's Never Make It Home. This is a great, great album, and the first track is called Moving to Virginia. Moving to Virginia. Okay, next, Washington. Okay, now this is a tricky one. I did find one about Washington State. Okay, I don't have it on hard copy. I have it on a digital copy. It is Woody Guthrie's Talking Washington Blues, and it is about Washington State because I pulled up the lyrics and I read them. But I'm going to pick something that's a little bit ambiguous. So Elizabeth Cotton has a track on here called Washington Blues. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, there it is, track 3. So it's on Shake Sugaree by Elizabeth Cotton, and the track is called Washington Blues. And guess what? It's an instrumental. So we have no idea if it's about Washington State or Washington, D.C., because I found tons about Washington, D.C. that I could have used, which it turns out would have been okay. But I wanted to get one that just said Washington, and it could be about Washington State, Washington, D.C., we don't know. Being that it's Elizabeth Cotton, it's probably about D.C. She also has a song called Baltimore to Washington, and she's from that area. She was. But I'm going to go with, it's ambiguous. We don't know because it's an instrumental. All right, next, and Woody Guthrie has one, and I have that digitally. All right, West Virginia. Well, come on, The Ghosts of West Virginia by Steve Earle, one of his, or yeah, his most recent album. And I don't know if this actually has a track called Ghosts of West Virginia, but it does not. But the title of the album is called Ghosts of West Virginia. And Wisconsin is my third one that I don't have. Try, couldn't get. Wyoming, it turns out I found 2, but one is only digital and one is in reality, and that is Whitney Rose. It doesn't have numbering, but there is a track called "Wake Me in Wyoming." "Wake Me in Wyoming" by Whitney Rose, Rule 62. So, if you're counting, folks, 50 minus 3 is 47. So I didn't get Connecticut, I didn't get New Hampshire, and I didn't get Wisconsin, but I got 47. I hope that counts, Richard. And I'm going to show you the mess on my bed now from all these CDs. Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? Good Lord, that's just nuts. Okay, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. And this is a great thread, Richard. Thanks for doing it. And Jamie, thanks for your video. It was inspiring me to do it myself. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Bye.